You hear it all the time when someone gets popular. Oh, you're so lucky. And while this might be a harmless throwaway comment, I actually think it's deeper and darker than that and an indication of a defeatist mindset, and I hate it, and here's why. Hey, Walter here, doing what I can to make comics easier because it shouldn't be overwhelming or daunting to tell your story. I make comics, I make videos about making comics, so if that's something you're into, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Now, I've been told that I'm lucky when it comes to my art career, and this bothers me for two reasons. The first one being I had to work my booty off. Someone didn't just hand me achievements while I was sitting there drinking a coffee. And two, because it kind of makes me sad. But let's go ahead and talk about the first one first. Luck is defined as success or failure apparently brought on by chance rather than one's own actions. So luck is walking down a street and narrowly being missed by a car, or sitting down on a train and finding $20 in the seat next to you, or being forced to go to a concert where you meet somebody you have not seen in 8 years and then later go on to marry them. Love you, Jess. But luck is not having a comics career. Some might argue that it is the complete opposite. If you're enjoying this video in spite of that bad joke, be sure to throw me a like and a sub. Making a career out of comics is tons of work and tons of sacrifice. I was doing comics as my side gig while I was working a full-time job. I would wake up before my job and draw. I would draw on my lunch break. I would come home and draw. I would eat and then draw a whole bunch before I went to bed. I did this for 7 years before I had a chance to work with Webtoon and become a full-time comic creator. I've told the story about becoming featured and also my path to becoming a freelance artist in detail in other videos, so I'll put a link to those videos in the description down below and not spend too much time talking about it right now. But basically it boils down to me doing comics on the side, running Kickstarters to get books printed, going to conventions to sell those books, hustling, making friends, making connections, talking to people, and getting the word out there about the comics I make. And it was at one of those conventions that I ran into a Webtoon editor. He bought my books, he liked my books, and the rest was history, or the present, I guess, because I'm here and living it right now. So this is where luck is usually thrown into the mix. Lucky that I was at that convention, lucky I was at my table, lucky that the editor stopped at my table, lucky that he bought my books, lucky that he liked them, lucky that he wanted to feature me on Webtoon. But it wasn't luck. So let's talk about what it actually was. It wasn't lucky that I was at my table. I was always at my table. In the early days, I would never leave my table. In fact, I wouldn't get up to go get food. I wouldn't go up to go use the bathroom. Of course, I've kind of lightened up on that a little bit, so don't worry. I've actually started going to the bathroom at conventions, so I've lightened up a little bit. But in those early days, I would never leave my table. That's not luck. That was dedication to something happening, and I didn't want to miss out on it. I wasn't lucky that the editor decided to stop at my table. I call out to people at conventions all the time. Hey, you want to check out my comics? Hey, you want to check out my comics? I don't know how often I say that at conventions. I say it so much it drives me crazy. I'm an introvert. I don't like talking to people, so it hurts me mentally to have to scream out to people that I don't know, that would rather not talk to me, and it's tough for me to call them over. But I do it, I do the hard work, I hustle because I want to sell those books. And so that's why the editor came to my table. It wasn't luck, it's because I told him to come to my table. And it wasn't luck that he bought my books, because I spent the time there while he was there talking to him about the books, telling him about the stories, trying to sell him the books. I wasn't just sitting there letting him peruse and then kind of leave without buying anything. I was trying to pitch the books to him. I was trying to sell the books to him, and that's why he bought the books. And it wasn't luck that he liked the books. I put a lot of myself into those books. I spent a lot of time, I spent a lot of sweat, I spent a lot of tears making those books something special. And hopefully that's why he liked them, because there was a little bit of me in there, and he enjoyed that aspect. And it wasn't luck that he wanted to feature me. I reached out to him after the convention to remind him who I was. I sent him PDFs of my book in case he wanted to share them with some of the other editors or other people on his team. I sent him pitches. I revised my pitches when he sent me back notes. Basically a lot of back and forth, keeping in contact, engaging with him, letting him know that I was excited. So it wasn't luck that he wanted to feature me. That was a relationship that I cultivated and engaged with to let them know how serious I was about creating a good story for Webtoon. And so that's not luck. That is a ton of hard work and sacrifice and putting myself in situations where I'm uncomfortable, doing things I'd rather not do, all in the pursuit of something that I really, really wanted. And I'm not saying this to gloat. I'm saying it because it makes me sad when somebody says, I'm lucky. And it doesn't make me sad for myself. It makes me sad for them. Luck, success or failure apparently brought on by chance rather than one's own actions. So when somebody says that I'm lucky, what it's saying to me is that there's no reason for them to try because it just comes down to dumb luck. It's not hard work, it's not perseverance, it's not sacrifice, it's just plain dumb luck. So there's no reason for them to try because they're not lucky. And so it makes me sad because they've given up. Who knows what kind of great stories they would have told, what kind of great artworks they would have created because they think it's just luck, and so they haven't even tried to fail, let alone succeed. Sure, saying luck could be completely harmless, but I think it goes deeper than that. Whether we realize it or not, it's kind of like saying to yourself, looking in the mirror, that you're beautiful. That's a positive affirmation. But saying luck, I think that is the opposite of that. It's saying what you want. It's saying that your passion is out of your control. And it's not out of your control. It's within your control. Now, is doing a bunch of hard work going to guarantee the outcome that you want? No, nothing is guaranteed other than the guarantee that if you never try, you will never succeed, you will only fail. So stop seeing success as an outcome of luck and see it for what it really is, which is tons of hard work, sacrifice, and perseverance. And maybe all of that isn't for everyone, but don't perpetuate this idea of luck and that only lucky people are successful. It's the dedicated people that are successful. All right, so I want to leave you with this fable. Let's say you and I are roommates. You're at home, you're watching TV, and I come home and I have bags full of groceries. Have you guys noticed I talk about like grocery stores and groceries a lot? I don't know. Anyways, so let's say you see my groceries and you're like, oh man, you're so lucky, you got to go to the grocery store. And I wasn't really lucky. I just kind of went to the grocery store. And so you're at home waiting to be lucky with groceries, expecting groceries just to appear in your lap. And let's go ahead and say our story takes place before Instacart was a thing so that my fable actually makes sense. So let's decide you decide to take a chance to be lucky and you're going to go to the grocery store. Now, are you guaranteed to make it to the grocery store? No, because of life. Like let's say your car breaks down and you don't make it, or maybe you get lost. But while you're lost, maybe you're driving around trying to figure out where to go and you see an Indian restaurant. Let's say you like Indian food. I do. Let's say you see an Indian restaurant you've never seen before and you decide to go try it, and the food is delicious and now you're full on Indian food. You don't even want to go to the grocery store anymore. And yeah, so that's what happens, and that's life, that's success. Sometimes you don't end up where you want to. Sometimes you end up someplace better, and that could be success, that could be life. And maybe you come home and I see that you had Indian food and I'm like, oh man, you got Indian food? You're so lucky. All right, so if you want to support me and these videos, please share these videos with your friends or family, or maybe share it with your unsupportive parent and be like, okay, I realize that becoming an artist is hard and it's going to take a lot of work and it's not guaranteed to succeed, but I'm ready to put in that time. I'm ready to make those sacrifices because this is what I really want. It's not just some flippant idea that I had and ooh, it'd be cool to be an artist. You understand how much work it's gonna be and you're ready to do that. And if you wanna keep making comics easier, be sure to like, link, love, hug, and hit that sub button for more sweet, sweet goodness. Peace!